Hello friends, I'm Garrett Wolf, and here we talk about crypto, investing, and alternative ways of living, trying to find ways to break the conventional system. Today we're going to talk about how I make $50 a day in crypto in completely passive income. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, the money keeps coming in either way. So if I can do it, you can do it too. So watch till the very end and I'll show you how. So it's probably a good idea to give you an introduction to my introduction to crypto. In 2013, a house I was renting out, one of my roommates told me about Dogecoin, and it seemed kind of silly, but also kind of fun. And so our whole house agreed. We had a really cool house owner that lived with us, and he agreed to let us pay our rent in Dogecoin. None of us really had a clue what it was other than some sort of internet money, and it was kind of fun, and Doge is cute. So two of us in the house paid our rent in Doge, and we didn't really touch it after that. I had some left over, and that kind of stayed in a wallet on my computer until 2017, 2018. And my second introduction was to Bitcoin gambling online, which you should not do, but I did, and I think at the time it was maybe $300 a coin.
$300 in Bitcoin, and
I think I went through like a total of 2 Bitcoin. I was bored out in some farm. I was bored out in the farmland with like no internet connection. I had a little bit of tethering from my phone, but that's about it. So it would be nice to still have that 2 Bitcoin, but you know, what do you do? And that was pretty much the last time I touched Bitcoin for a while. The next time after that, I was working as an EMT, and we worked 24-hour shifts, so we had a lot of downtime. So I was browsing Reddit, and I ran into crypto mining, which seemed pretty lucrative. And interesting too, the ability to kind of support a decentralized finance system seemed pretty intriguing to me. I'd always kind of grown up a little bit with punk roots, and grew up a little like anti-establishment, having had issues with the way that our system is built. And so after spending hundreds of hours after spending probably hundreds of hours going through Reddit posts and seeing how other people were mining, looking at YouTube channels like Bits Be Trippin', I think were one of the first, was what kind of got me interested. I'd also met another friend who was currently mining. He was GPU mining for Ethereum and some other coins which are not around anymore. He kind of helped me get started, showed me what I needed to get set up, let me come over and look at his rigs. And so with that, I was hooked. I was planning on going to nursing school and put that on hold so that I could dedicate the next 3 or 4 months full time to building these mining rigs in my room. 33 GPUs at one point. Luckily, I had some really nice roommates who didn't care that the whole house was a solid like 90 degrees. So I started mining Ethereum and investing in some smaller projects that looked really interesting. And I didn't have a lot of money. I was $27,000 in debt from school loans and was hardly making any money on the ambulance. It's like minimum wage. So it was basically like living on credit cards to buy food just to get from month to month. And maybe investing like $50 a month, but just like scraping any little bit I could, like putting $5, $10, $20 into a project, and just sat on it. It seemed really promising. I was investing a lot, maybe $50, maybe $100 a month, and I didn't have money for the crypto rig, so I put $13,000 on my credit card and bought these mining rigs and got started. Was it the wisest choice? In the moment, I would have said no, but I didn't feel like I had much to lose, and I didn't think I had much to lose being so far in debt. Like, what was another $10,000? Which is not a good way to think about it. But when you're hardly making any money, it's pretty easy to rationalize that. But the payoff, if it did work out, seemed to definitely justify the risk. So I did, and it paid off. I was investing $50 to $100 a month, basically whatever I could scrape after paying for expenses. And it wasn't a lot, but I thought that some of these projects had a lot of promise. And it's turned out pretty good for, I would say, 30% of the projects. Like a lot of the projects in 2017 definitely aren't around now. But a couple were, and it worked out really well. So the first 4 ways that I make money off of crypto fall into a category called CeFi, or centralized finance. CeFi, or centralized finance, looks a lot closer to some of the more traditional investment vehicles that a lot of us are used to, like going through a stockbroker or a bank. A lot of them have easier onboarding and a little cleaner interfaces that are a little easier to understand if you're coming from the traditional finance world. If you're interested in trying any of these ways out, check the links below. I'll leave some. Some will be referral codes, some won't. If you want to use them, that'd be great. That'd help me out. But any way that you can get started with these, most of them are loads better than any traditional finance right now. These all do come with their own risks, and definitely do your own research before getting involved in these. But I have not run into any issues so far, and I've been using a couple of these for at least a couple years now. And if you find this information useful or interesting, please give a like and subscribe. That would help the channel out a lot. Number 1, the one that I've been using the longest is Nexo. Nexo has an ecosystem that is more beneficial if you were using and staking their token, which is the Nexo token. I have Nexo staked, and I am making 12% a year. I have that staked for a year. Depending on how much Nexo you have staked on their platform, they put you into different tiers: platinum, gold, silver. The more Nexo you have, up to 10% of your total balance on Nexo, the higher up on their rating system you will be. So I'm gold, bouncing around between platinum, but it kind of just changes the value of Nexo compared to the rest of the portfolio. So I have Nexo staked. If you just have it flexibly staked, you can get 7%. I have it staked for a year, and so I'm getting 12% back on the Nexo I have on their platform. I have my USDC, which is a stable coin that is pegged to the dollar. I'm making 9%. And the rest, I have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and BNB, and that's all making about 5.5% right now. Those are all in 1 month auto-renewing fixed terms. If you live outside of the US, you can choose to earn in Nexo and earn additional 2%, but I live in the US, and so that's not possible for me. But if you live outside of the US, then you could even make more. So that's number 1. I have a lot of trust in Nexo. They seem to have a pretty good community. Their customer service has been really great. I trust them enough to have quite a bit of my portfolio in there. So a couple other things you can do on Nexo that you can do at a couple of places now is borrow against your crypto, which will prevent you from having to pay taxes on the money that you're borrowing. And in addition, they also give you 3 free withdrawals a month where they pay for the fee, which if you're talking about Ethereum or any Ethereum-based tokens, then that can save you quite a bit. So definitely check that out. So that's Nexo, and on Nexo I'm making $8 a day, and Nexo uses daily compounding. So every time I get that extra $8, it is then compounded into the next day, and the next day, and the next day. So as you can see, that adds up pretty quickly. Number 2, Celcius. Celcius, kind of a similar sort of platform. I have my Bitcoin and Cardano and some USD staked on there. They have some pretty awesome sign-up bonuses. If you deposit certain amounts and keep it within their ecosystem for whatever their requirements are, then they can give you a pretty good bonus. So if you like free crypto, then definitely check that out. I have Bitcoin, Cardano, and USDC on there. From that, I'm making about $2.50 a day. So they pay you out weekly. So I just take the weekly cost and divide that by 7, and that's how I get that number. Number 3 is crypto.com. So you may have heard this. It's been in the news a lot recently. They bought the naming rights to the Staples Center, which I believe is now the Bitcoin.com arena. Crypto.com's ecosystem is a lot like Nexo in that you stake some of their token, which in this case is CRO, that's CRO. And the more you staked on their platform, the greater the benefits you have. So you don't need to stake anything, but the more you have staked, the better returns you're getting. Additionally, with Crypto.com, they also offer a debit card, which comes in the form of a prepaid card. And the more CRO you have staked, the better rewards you get. So you get anything from 1% back on your purchases to 8% back if you have the highest staked. And it ranges from anything that the 1% back is 0 staked, and the 8% back is 400,000 staked. So definitely a very high tier, but they have a lot of things in between. I started with the Ruby card, as you can see here, but I recently upgraded to the Jade Indigo. So you needed $400 for this one. And the next tier was 4,000, but I thought the benefits really good, and I'm now getting 3% back on all the purchase that I make with that. So, and the card for me is a really good way to easily get crypto into cash if I need it. And me and my partner are planning on doing some time on the road in the future, whether in a van or a bus or some sort of way to see the U.S. It seems like a really easy way to get crypto into U.S. in a way that's really usable and quick, like you can do it instantly. And the other benefits of that is I get Spotify for free, so you pay the money and they reimburse you in CRO, which you could directly cash out if you wanted to. And Netflix is also 100% free too, which is cool. And Airport Lounge, but I haven't been into any airports since COVID. So, and an added benefit of moving up to their Jade Indigo bracket is that I also get 10% on the CRO that I have staked, which I thought was pretty good, because with Ruby you don't get anything, it's just staked and then you get it back if you want. But with the Jade Indigo, that you're making money off that money that's staked. I also have Ethereum and Bitcoin locked up, and those are making 6.5%. That's locked up for 3 months at a time. And Doge, which I'm making 3% on, which is better than nothing, and Doge is fun. And some of the best rates I've seen in CeFi, I'm making 12% on my USDC, which I think is pretty great. And that certainly beats, well, I think my bank is giving me like 1%, and that's like good for a bank. Like some of these banks are giving you like 0.01% a year. Like that's crazy. Like that's a joke. So on crypto.com, I am making $7 a day. Number 4, and the last one in CeFi. This is KuCoin. KuCoin, I have their token staked on their platform, and for that they give you a percentage of what they are making on trading fees. And so of the KuCoin that I have staked on their platform, you don't have to stake it for any amount of time. But as long as you have it on their platform, I'm making generally between 6 and 12% return on that. It varies by the day. So, but I found it averages about 6 to 12%. And from KuCoin, I am making $2 a day. And so that wraps up CeFi. The next category would be DeFi, which stands for decentralized finance. And this is more in the roots and the spirit of crypto, and that you're not relying on one centralized organization. You're more relying on the code and the power of the community. This one, the only one I really have staked in DeFi right now, is through Harmony One. With Harmony, you stake to a pool and you get a percent of whatever that pool is, and by staking, you're helping to secure the network. With Harmony pays out about 10%, and so I'm making about 50 cents a day, and that gets reinvested anytime I can. And that gets reinvested. And 50 cents a day might not sound like a lot, but when you add it up with all these different sources of income, they really can add up to a pretty good amount that you're getting. And that's for a token that is also appreciating in value too. So it's not like you're just getting this 50 cents a day. You're also holding on to this token and watching that appreciate in value. I think Harmony's got a really promising project and a really, really good community around it. So I would check that one out. I'm also playing around with VVS Finance, which is on Chronos, which is the blockchain that Crypto.com has established. That is more of an experiment, and I will let you know how that goes. I think I put $200 in that just to see how it goes. So, and number 6 would be GPU mining, which is using graphics cards to help support the Ethereum network or whatever other network you're mining on. But for me, it's the Ethereum network. I found that one to be the most reliable and best for returns. And I am mining Ethereum, which is definitely the big boy and the big project that is really making all this DeFi possible. There's lots of other chains that are doing it as well, but Ethereum started it and definitely has the most projects on it. Mining is definitely where I've made a big chunk of my crypto mining. It's really fun. I've been a gear junkie. That's one of the things I really liked about photography when I got started with photography. When I was like 16, is just all like the fun cameras and stuff. So mining really like played into that, is getting to assemble like all these rigs and buy all these graphics cards and build something that works really well and is really beautiful, like as a system. And so I've been doing that for the last 3 or 4 years now. And they keep pushing back the transition completely to proof of stake. So right now, taking advantage of the mining, hopefully it will keep up for another 6 months or so. But from there, we'll probably transition to mining something else. I think it's a fun way to support projects. And it's a nice way to feel like I'm doing something to add to this decentralized movement. My 16-year-old punky self would be very proud. And with Ethereum mining, I'm making anywhere from $30 to $40 a day. That varies greatly. Some days it's gone up to like $50 a day. Some days it's dropped down to $20 a day. It definitely depends on the difficulty and the price. But overall, the Ethereum that I've mined in the past has gone way, way up in value. So if it might be $30 or $40 today, the Ethereum that I was mining 6 months ago has like 6x'd in value. So it's not just the money that you are getting from that. So it's not just the dollar amount that you're getting today. All the crypto that you're getting also appreciates over time. So sometimes that 3 or 5 or 10% interest that you are getting for loaning out your crypto to these institutions can really turn into much, much bigger returns. And from Ethereum mining, I'm getting about $30 or $40 a day. Is it too late to get into mining? Really hard to tell. People have been saying that mining was going to be over years ago, and it just keeps going. So that decision up to you. I would definitely do your own research before you spend a lot of money and buy a mining rig. But it is very fun, and it heats my house in the winter, which is great. And a lot of people have made a lot of money from mining. And the miners just continue to work 24/7, hopefully, without you really having to do much once you get it up and running. A little maintenance, a little cleaning, that's about it. The amount of money that you can make investing in crypto is substantially greater. It's substantially higher risk as well. Do your own research, know what you're investing in. Don't just put your money into any project because you hear it's good. Go and read through the white papers, see what the community's like, see who their founders are, see who's really working on the project. But if you find a promising project and it doesn't seem to set off any alarm bells, then sometimes it may be worth investing in. Do your own research. I am definitely not a financial advisor. So just like anything in life, when you're learning to invest, especially in crypto, like you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to find some projects that seem really promising and you might lose some money on them. I'll give you two. I'll give you two. The first was Zen masternodes. I was mining a coin called Zen for their project. Their project seemed really promising, and I liked that. And I think I put $3,000 or $4,000, which for me at the time was a lot. I mean, it's still a lot of money, into these nodes. And then we hit the bear market, and the value just crashed. And so I ended up pulling that out and putting it into Ethereum because I thought there was some better longer-term value there, and I think that paid off. So, and the second, which I didn't lose money on, but I stopped doing it after about 8 days of trying it, was using KuCoin's trading bot. I think overall, I put $500 in, and across the 8 days, I made $27, which is pretty good. But I think that was also the time that Dogecoin was really making a big run, and I would have made more money if I would have just kept that money in Dogecoin to begin with. So I think there is probably money to be made there, but I also didn't want to deal with the taxes of having so many buys and sells across the whole year. That seems like such a headache. So those are two of my past attempts that didn't work out, and I just didn't really want to go forward with. So as a recap, I'm making $8 a day staking in Nexo. I'm making about $2.50 a day staking in Celcius. Getting about $7 a day staking at crypto.com. $2 a day from staking on KuCoin. 50 cents a day from staking on Harmony One. And $30 to $40 a day mining Ethereum. But we'll just say 30 for the sake of this video. So that's $20 a day from staking and $30 a day from mining, which gives us about $50 a day in crypto, which is also gaining value over time. And that is money that's coming in no matter what I'm doing. That's not tied to the amount of hours that I'm putting into it. It could be at home, it could be at work, I could be at the beach, I could be hiking. And either way, all that money is coming in every single day. And $50 a day is pretty good for me in the US. That would cover about all my expenses right now. I am still working and still saving, and there's nothing to say that that $50 will keep coming in. Crypto could drop, mining could tank. But right now that's what I'm making, and hopefully it will continue into the future. And I'm doing everything I can to try and increase that number so that one day that I won't have to rely on work, that I'll be able to rely on the passive income so that I can do the things that I love, which is travel and make music and spend time with friends and dance. And dance. I love dancing. Like, put on any music and I'll dance. I'm Garrett Wolf, and thanks for watching. Make sure to spread love, and together let's build a system that we can all benefit from. Peace.